We're back on the line with Frank Dumas from St-Georges Mining. Today we're going to be discussing their subsidiary, St-Georges Metallurgy, also known as SX Metallurgy. Frank, please give us an introduction.
So SX Metallurgy or St-Georges Metallurgy is a subsidiary we have to do most of the R&D and development of refining process, extraction processing, and different type of research. So right now we have one big project there that's lithium processing from hard rock, from spodumene. And it's supported by the Canadian government, by their R&D arm, so NRCan, National Resource Canada, to the tune of $3.7 million Canadian of, it's not grant money, it's contribution. So they're matching us on the money that we spend. And we're doing that with Research Institute. We have a pilot plant that's in place. We've received 5 tons recently of Canadian source material. This is also a little bit difficult. There's a caveat there is that the Canadian government has pushed us to only use material from Canadian source that is also Canadian owned. So we had some major company that were very interested into providing as many tons as we needed. And we had to say thanks, but we can't because the Canadian government is now monitoring the shareholder and the ownership of anyone that comes close to that project, as they think it's a strategic project for the country. So eventually, and I'd say without disclosing the company, one Australian company with one Australian major has been part of the provider of material under an agreement with the Canadian government. So they need to vet and make sure that these are allies, I would say, and they want to avoid certain countries' ownership, even if it's a Canadian mine. But so we're about to release additional results, probably in the next few weeks, from that process. We think that we can compete with the Chinese to have probably one of the lowest capex for that type of projects, and obviously the lowest OPEX. Like we're looking right now at a fraction of the cost that it costs to the Chinese to process spodumene concentrate into lithium nitrate, lithium hydroxide. And the beauty of this is that there's no tailings, there's no residue. Everything's being processed. Everything becomes a byproduct.
Fantastic. And I understand that St-Georges Metallurgy has already posted its first revenues.
Yeah, well, this is kind of a surprise for us, is because we ended up selling some of the residuals of legacy research initiative we had. So we found people willing to buy it, and we might have a little bit more coming before the end of the year. And this is not something that's going to be recurrent for now. What might be recurrent is that in Iceland, and now I'm going to overstep on Iceland Resource, another subsidiary, is that we have an agreement we have a confidential agreement with multiple geothermal energy producer that are cleaning up their well often, and they have also residue ponds that through the production of that hot water, that geothermal energy, they're pumping in situ a concentrate or a fine mineral that has high-grade base metals in it and has some good grades of gold and silver. And we've struck a deal with them to do research and development and test that material. As they descales their well, they're bagging it and sending it to us. So 2026 is going to be interesting because we don't need to produce much to generate good return on that material. It's already a concentrate as it comes out of the ground.
Frank, that's another fascinating piece of the puzzle that is St-Georges Mining and all of your subsidiaries. Great to catch up.